windows we could get.
Mhm.
And even last night, we really don't hardly hear anything. But my neighbor has vinyl siding, and when I get to his house on a day like that, you can hear it going slapping and clapping.
Let me tell you.
Most people that come to our house, especially if they stay all night,
Sure.
they say, we see cars go by, we don't even hear them.
Yeah, and that's good. Last night that wind was whipping out of the west, and
Yeah, it
we
was
have
bad.
got a double open French door in the family room that corners into the French door that goes into the kitchen here. And that thing was doing this. And I'm like, holy crap.
We've got some big windows in the living room and the kitchen. That's a large expanse of
It's
glass,
like,
about that opening,
oh.
that one piece of glass,
Yeah.
and you can stand next to it and watch it stretch.
Yeah, it does. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, please don't do this while Bill's gone.
Well, I remember the first couple of
Not
years.
that I
we
couldn't
thought that
handle
thing
it.
was-
I don't want to. handle
Right.
it.
The first couple of years, we thought that thing was gonna just break in.
I know, me too. I'm like, did you see that? And, because we took a modular home, that's originally was a modular home, and doubled our square footage, went above and completely rebuilt
Mhm.
all of it. So
Mhm.
it's considered stick built.
Yeah, good.
Um,
My sister had all kinds of trouble with that. She bought a.
But he had to
house-
put a soffit, an extra kind of a brace soffit in that kitchen area because of going up higher.
Oh, I got you. My sister bought a modular through a USDA loan program.
Mhm.
She had a hell of a time getting out of that program
Oh, yeah.
because modulars have a sticker under
Yes,
the
they
kitchen
do.
sink.
Yes, they do.
And a lot of people didn't want to touch it
Mhm.
for a refi.
Oh, really?
And
Some of them
hell,
will,
it's built, it's better than a lot of houses out there.
and that's what Bill said when he ripped the roof off, because we
Yeah.
more than doubled our square footage on this thing. When he ripped the roof off and stuff, he goes, holy crap, this has got more lumber in it than a regular stick built.
Hers is 2x6 too, and it's well
Yeah.
built and it's on a block foundation.
Some of the modulars will have a plate on the outside also, because I know when I,
Older,
because
yes.
I did mortgages.
Yep.
It will have one out there, and it's like, well, you
Mhm.
gotta find it. Well, I've never seen it. Well,
Yep. And the newer-
It's down
the newer
there.
Stuff's in the kitchen,
yeah.
into the cabinet. It's
In the-
like they're
yeah.
looking for the title or the placard on a car.
And ours was, they call it the old Brownfield place. So what happened was when Bud and Lena Brownfield moved from the little house, they put this house right across the street from Elm Cemetery there. So, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not living in a trailer, Bill.
Modular's not a
He said,
trailer.
it's not a trailer. I said, look at these walls, and I went like this, and that, that vinyl-y thing. I'm like, I'm not living in this trailer. But the location was awesome, because we are literally a half a mile from 5745 and 136.
Mhm.
I mean, we're right up there in that pocket.
I can never move back to town.
He's like,
I
The
can-
location was at 2
I
acres. so-
couldn't move back into town.
Oh, I
have
couldn't
shoes on
either.
my property. I have outdoor shower.
Yeah.
It's not a nudist colony, but I'm not really scared about going between the hot tub and the shower outside.
Well, I know the
and-
bathroom's outside for the guys by the shop. Or wherever the nearest truck tire is. I'm like, what the heck? Sheesh.
I haven't talked to Clemens for a while. Have you talked to Clemens for a while?
No, I wonder how the cattle are
He's
doing.
a big baby. He was gonna take all kinds
Bread.
of, he came over for happy hour one Friday night and oh yeah, I gotta get into this bourbon like you and Harp. He was there one night, had a great time. Oh, I'll be back. And I haven't seen him since. He literally lives 2 miles away. Well, I
Yeah. about
can't hit him
Sam.
with a shotgun, but I can hit him with a rifle.
Yeah. I know, you just live so far away.
You guys think that, but
I'd
even
have to
from
have
my
it.
house, I think the two of us farthest apart is me and Harper. Because I
Really?
live out by
Oh.
Clemens and Harper lives north of St. Joe. And I think it was 21 miles
Mhm.
and it's 5774. So it's easy.
And I live a half a mile north of 136
So let's see.
and a half a mile
So is that
east of
further?
57.
136 would be north of Rantoul then.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's about the same.
yeah, not bad, but then.
We used to be
it's
able to
like-
get to Brook Hill Golf Course from Hensley Road in
Yes.
15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. But when you've had a beverage or two, you don't want to go too
What's
far.
that? We have a drink. I just called Dustin and have him give me a ride. The sheriff.
Yeah.
I had an email exchange with him yesterday.
And the McAllister
about
boys
that.
retired too.
I suggested that Dustin call Paul Chikini and asked him if he wanted to do a ride along with the officer sometime after that
Oh, he
shitty comment
should.
that he made
Yeah.
on the air. Did you see that he did the story about the Decatur police had a
Who's
shooting
this?
incident, the anchor for Channel 3?
Oh, I didn't
And in
see
his narrative of the story, he said, of course, police are trained to shoot to kill.
Michelle, are you okay, or did you need this spot?
She enjoys being back there, she tells me.
I know, but, okay. Well, I didn't want to take your spot.
Actually, oh, no, Lorraine's spot's right
It's
there.
like church, you know.
Jim's not coming. He's
Oh, he's
gonna
not?
Zoom.
McGuire,
He said he's at home and he wants to stay there today.
Well, baby.
I know.
it's not bad.
No,
and really,
not.
it's
gonna get
Even
bad,
as
but
cold as it is, it's not that bad.
No,
It'll get that way.
Yeah. Or zooming.
better be zooming. Oh, no, he's
No,
gonna be-
yeah, we've been pretty lucky with where we're at and what goes on, and Bill's got the shop, and Trav plugged in the backhoe last night, just in case the boys. in
Well,
bed.
nobody else
Nothing
is
happened,
plugged
so.
in yet, so I don't know. Except for me and whoever's running it from the county.
I'll tell you what, if you're late for a Zoom meeting, you're pretty low. As far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
there's been a few of
Yeah.
them.
I mean,
The
you
only
you can
time-
literally do it from everywhere.
You can, sometimes your computer will act, like it, I tried to get on one time and my computer said it had to update now. And I was like, oh no, you don't have to update now. Are you kidding me? Right. So 7 minutes later.
Here comes the rain.
Rain's not gonna miss a donut and coffee.
No.
Yeah, that's what did you see my comment? I was like, I don't want to miss my donut today.
And they didn't have the good donut, the cinnamon rolls at Myers.
These are
this morning.
fine.
I was. Did you see me? Oh, yeah.
If it gets really cruddy outside, I'm gonna text you. Keep my donut for later.
They didn't even have them out. I had to go back into the bakery and ask them for it. They didn't have them in the little window.
Morning.
And I said, you guys have, no, we don't have any of those. We don't have the something to make them with those today. All we have is these, so, okay. They were real fresh though. They literally took them off the tray and put them in the bin.
Yeah, they're real yeasty.
So we got a Chuck Black from the Iron Workers Local Union that just tuned in. Does anybody know anything about that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, are you building bridges?
Yeah, but
Are we on, boys?
Hey, good morning. I just hopped on to see if there was any news on potential work coming up.
okay. There is nothing on the agenda appropriating money for anything that would entail ironworkers. But we do have some bridge projects that we bid to. We've got 2 or 3 more to bid yet this year. Probably one this month and then one at least in April on the federal letting, probably another one in April or May. So we'll have about 6 bridges going this summer.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I was getting on just to see. Just seeing the brief agenda.
Yep, there's nothing specific on the agenda, but that's what we're doing this summer.
Perfect. All right. Well,
You're welcome to stay.
save me a little bit of
If you
time.
want
So
to.
if I have any questions, I'll shoot an email out.
Hey, Chuck, thanks.
Oh, great. What reaction do you get when you are able to relieve some of the stress and the loss? Well,
What does Tri-County Welding do?
Don't know.
Weld.
They have a, right, but their office is in an odd spot.
How is everybody? You're probably having biscuits and gravy since I'm not there.
Yeah, sure thing. And-
Yeah.
And mimosas.
We got the 6-foot donuts and biscuits and gravy this morning.
But you don't drink anyway.
No.
Find time not to come into the office for a meeting, Jim.
I know. Gee, man, that like.
I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. I thought, well, I'll leave a little bit early just in case it doesn't. Well, then I hit every green light and everything goes smooth. And I'm like, well, this is a first. I'm here early.
Get to have your donut before the meeting even starts.
I know. I could disrupt the whole event.
Okay, I guess we can call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call?
What's that? Oh, Michelle's turning on the tape recorder.
Hammond,
Here.
Dwyer,
Here.
Aqua,
I'm sorry?
Are you here?
That's close enough.
Yes, here.
Rob,
Don't see.
Strong,
Here.
Michaels,
Here.
Howard.
Present. Okay, now we need approval of the agenda.
So moved. Michaels.
Second, Pasalakwa.
Pasalakwa. We'll get that right by July.
Okay, it's been moved and approved. Moved and second. So we open up for any discussion on the agenda. Hearing none, need approval of the minutes for January 8th, 2021.
We have to vote, roll call on the approval of the agenda.
Okay,
Sorry.
Hammond,
Yes.
Dwyer,
Yes.
That's a lot.
Passalaqua,
Yes.
Strong,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Howard.
yes. Okay, now we can go for approval of the minutes for January 8th, 2021.
I just looked quick. I didn't see anything. Did you?
Need a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved, Straub.
Been moved and second, is there?
We don't have a second yet, Madam Chair. We need a second.
I'll vote. I'll second McGuire.
Okay, it's open up for discussion. Okay, seeing, can we get a roll call?
Hammond,
Yes.
Dwyer,
Yes.
Passalaqua,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Strong,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes. Okay, next thing on the.
Madam
agenda-
Chair, let the minutes reflect that at 9:05, Cameron Robb came on the Zoom call. Just because he wasn't on for the roll call. So just putting that in the minutes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, now public participation. Do we have any public?
We had the local steelworker union guy tune in right before the meeting started, and he asked a couple of questions about projects that are ongoing at the county level for the summer. And we chatted. He said he would call me and or email me with any questions. So that happened even before we started. It probably shouldn't have, but he came on and I just said hi and he started asking questions and I answered them. So whether that was appropriate or not, it happened, and now it's in the minutes that he was Chuck Black was his last name?
Black.
Chuck Black with the local iron workers union. So have that in the minutes now. Thank you.
Okay, is there any more public participation? Okay, seeing we going to, is there any communication from the committee? Seeing none. Need a motion for the county and township motor fuel tax claim for January 2021.
So moved, Michaels.
Second, McGuire.
Okay, is there any discussion? Seeing none. Can we get a roll call?
Ammons,
Yes.
Dwyer,
Yes.
Masalakwa,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to the county engineer's report.
The first item, number 7, is item number 8 is the FY 20 bridge report. This is something that we bring before the committee at the beginning of every year, all the bridges that were totally completed in FY 20. So these are ones that we have made final payment on and are totally complete. It says in our resolutions that we will bring a final report back to the board once these projects are complete. So we just do this yearly instead of doing it periodically as the bridges become complete. So you'll see the first page there, page 5, are the 2 major bridges that we completed for the year. Award prices and completed prices. The award price is higher than the completed price on both projects, which means both of them came in under the actual bid amount that we had taken. One of them is near Homer, just west of Homer is the County Highway 15 job. The County Highway 18 job was there between Philo and Tolono on the 5-mile county highway there. On page number 6, those are just all the small culvert projects that we split 50-50 with the township. So you'll see there on all those reports that the costs are evenly divided between the county and the township for each of those projects. A number of those projects in 2020 that were completed. Typically, we can get those done in the year in which they are, the resolutions are approved. The larger bridges sometimes take a few years to get the design completed, the construction, and get the final payment done. But there's no motion or any kind of approval needed. That is just brought to the highway committee because it says in the resolution that it is part of our duty to do that. You might have any questions about any of the projects on the bridge report. I could answer them at this time. All right, we'll move on then. As you know, I had contract award authority for the County Highway 13 bridge. We did have the bid letting on January the 27th. Got good bids. We have 4 bids. You see the engineer's estimate was $514,000. The low bid from Big O Services was $524, and then we had a number of other bids, $535, $549, $584. So all very, very close and tight bids. The low bid was 2% over our estimate, but the award authority gave me the authority to award it as long as it was within 10% of the engineer's estimate. So we just bring that bid tab back to the highway committee for informational purposes and to answer any questions that you might have about the bidding of that project. Any questions?
Have we awarded this bid yet?
Yes,
And Big O?
yes.
Have we worked with them before? It
Yes.
sounds like, okay, because we just don't have as much as we do with some of the others.
He's relatively new.
Okay, because I just didn't remember
I would
a
say
lot of projects with his name on it.
3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Nick O'Neill, so it's the old O'Neill brothers.
Oh, gotcha.
He's like a nephew of
Gotcha.
that family. As you remember, O'Neill brothers went out of business
Right,
a few years back in the
Right.
bridge building business anyway. Actually, when we were building Olympian Drive,
right.
they went out of business because they had that bridge.
Mhm.
They pulled the plug on it. But anyway, he does a great job.
Good.
We used to have Newell Construction, which
Yes.
was a Danville-based company. who were kind of the mom and pop, if you will,
Right.
bridge building organization around here. He's kind of taken their place because they retired. Tim Newell retired.
Okay,
So that business, he still does very, very minor stuff, but nothing
yeah,
of any significance.
not on purpose. then.
No, right, right. So Stark is always in there bidding.
Right.
White Construction is, so White Construction originally was from Indiana.
Yeah, they bid.
They bought Halverson Construction out of Springfield, which is a huge bridge construction company. So they joined together. So that now they're starting to do more bidding in this area because we're kind of in the middle of, you know, being from Indiana and Springfield, they're people. And this Depew and Owens, first time they've ever bid on a job here, but they were very competitive.
Mhm.
And they do have a eligibility certificate through the state. So we hope they continue to come back and continue to bid because they were in third place there.
Is White the same group that's building the solar farms?
They were big into the windmills. Are they into solar farms now?
I'm sorry, wind.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah, because they got the big cranes, so they can do
Right.
bridges, windmills, all
Okay.
9 yards. Yep.
Yeah, thanks. I forgot about O'Neill, he being part of O'Neill Brothers there. Just
Yeah,
threw me. Yeah, they were around
and
forever.
O'Neill's
Forever.
were in family with Newell Brothers.
Right,
They were cousins or whatever. I don't know. They all kind of
it's
did.
family.
Yeah, it was family. Whatever it was family. I'm not sure what it was.
It's a family.
So any other questions about the bid tab from County Highway 13 job? We're excited to have Big O. We have another project that we're planning on bidding here in February. Hoping to have the bids ready to go for award in March. If for some reason that doesn't happen because we're waiting for approvals from IDOT, we'll see. Hopefully we can get it done. If we don't, I may have to ask for award authority so we can award that one in March to make sure it continues to move forward. But we're trying to get it done here in February, get the bid done so we can bring it to the Highway Committee in March for award.
Okay, we need approval.
No, we do not.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Item number 10 is a petition requesting and resolution appropriating funds from the county bridge funds for Harwood Township. Aaron Toller, Harwood Township Highway Commissioner, has put in a petition to replace a bridge. $20,000 is the estimated cost. You'll see the project is there just north of 136 on the location map and east of Rantoul. It's a 9x5 I-beam. So this is a very, very old I-beam culvert where they literally took these little thin I-beams and poured concrete in between them and set it on a couple of walls and called it a culvert. It needs to be replaced and we're done the hydraulic analysis and the proposed replacement is a 9x5, same size, but it'll be precast and we'll split that cost.
I
With
make
the
motion
township.
on that.
You got the motion?
Butt right in there.
All right.
That's my area. I make motion for that one, please.
I'll second.
Stroud,
We have a motion and second.
Any discussion? Jennifer? Did you have something you wanted to say?
no, ma'am, I said second Stroud.
Gotcha.
Okay, no discussion. So can we get a roll call?
Ammons,
Yes.
Fire,
Yes.
Aqua,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Rob.
Yep.
Michaels,
Yes,
Thor.
Yes.
All right. Now we have a petition requesting and a resolution appropriating funds for a bridge repair in Sedoras. There's actually two of them, but we'll take them singularly, I guess. The first one is between sections 23 and 26. So if you look on your map, which is attached, it's got two bridges on it. This is the southerly one down there on County Road 200 North. We have a lot of these bridges that were built in the 70s and 80s. They didn't do any kind of protection along the face of the abutments. So we're having to go back and put riprap in the bridges in place, which is not fun for a contractor because they literally have to do a lot of hand placement of riprap. This one is estimated to be $18,000 to put the riprap along the face of the abutment on both sides of the bridge. And I would ask for your approval of that petition and resolution.
I would make a motion for that. Passalaqua.
I'll second McGuire.
Okay, been moved and second. It's open up for discussion. Seeing none, can we get a roll call?
Ammons,
Yes.
Fire,
Yes.
Passalaqua,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Straub,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
And item number 12, which is another petition and resolution from Jeremy Anderson of Sedoris Township for a similar repair. This one is estimated at $17,000, a little bit less riprap needed on this particular bridge than the other one. It is the northerly bridge, which is shown on the location map there on 400 North, just south of Sedoris. Again, placing riprap along the face and the slope of the abutment of the bridge to prevent erosion along the face of that abutment. So I would ask for your approval of that petition and resolution.
So moved. Passalaqua.
We have a motion. We need a second.
Second McGuire.
Okay, it's been moved and second. It's open for discussion.
I'm not seeing a cost for this one. Am I missing it?
At 17,000, it's on page 14 there.
Thank you. Sorry, rookie mistake.
No problem.
Okay. Any discussion from you all?
It's the second Sedoris.
Doesn't look like we have any more discussion, Madam Chair.
Okay. Can we get a roll call?
Ammons,
Yes.
Fire,
Yes.
Passalaqua,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Straub,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
All right, excuse me, under other business, there is no semi-annual review of closed session minutes. That actually will occur in March. So we don't have that to deal with.
Jeff, this is Steve Summers. I've got a quick question if you got time.
Yes, sir.
I had seen on the news that the overpass bridge over 74 close to St. Joe had received some damage and they were going to be closing that down. I know that's an IDOT bridge, but does that have any impact on us whatsoever? Is the state required to put up the signage for detours? Just a question.
So it's a township road, St. Joe Township. When the bridge was originally struck, we went out and closed it on behalf of IDOT because they couldn't mobilize and get there fast enough. And then they came back the following day and put up their own detour and traffic control. They've actually come back and put a beam on top of the bridge and then tied cables around that beam to the beams on the bottom side of the bridge so that they don't continue to fall down on the motorist on I-74. The bridge was in the 5-year capital improvement plan for IDOT currently. They're hoping to be able to move it up to get it done within the next 2 or 3 years. It's been struck multiple times. This time it was just struck so hard that there's really no fixing it anymore. And for some unreal reason, the guy drove away, or gal, whoever was driving the truck, and they never found him. I don't know how you don't find somebody that hit a
Wow.
bridge, but somehow they got away with it. So the Township Highway Commissioner is aware of it. It's his roadway, and they'll fix it
Wow.
as money becomes available to do it. So no impact generally on the county highways. But obviously there's some travel impacts on people that use that road. I think there's a bus that uses that road, and obviously the post office and so forth. So there will be some issues with that, but I don't think anything major because it's 50 cars a day or whatever the traffic count is on that road. It's very low.
Thank you. Maybe IDOT will have a Dick Tracy that can look through permits for those loads and can come up with some idea, but probably not. One other thing.
Probably, usually if somebody hits a bridge, they probably didn't get a permit.
Well, possibly.
Sliding under the radar.
Possibly. One other point, and your discretion on this. Other than Ms. Straub, I don't know if some of the new members have any idea what riprap is on the last two items they voted on. So maybe you could give a 15
I was
second
planning on Googling it.
Riprap is just large rocks, usually a foot to 2 foot in diameter, that we put underneath the bridges in order to stop erosion from happening underneath the bridges. Because if you get floods and the water gets underneath there and starts churning, it'll actually erode underneath the carrying capacity of the bridge, and then you get some other issues that you don't want to have to deal with. And then what we'll do is we'll have the riprap is placed usually about 2 to 3 foot thick underneath the bridge on the slope down to the stream or the river, and then we come and put grout on top of that to kind of hold it in place. That serves two purposes. It helps keep the riprap in place when we have times of flood, and it keeps the kids from throwing the riprap into the streams. So that's what we call riprap. There's a lot of different definitions for riprap, I'm sure, if you Google it, but that's what we're referring to when we talk about it.
It's not pretty either. It's jagged. You wouldn't want it in your yard.
I actually find it to be quite attractive, but
That from a road crew guy. Recycled, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they used to just use anything, bricks and stones, but when we do it this way, they can't use just any old crud. They have to get it from a quarry. It has to be a certain size, and it has to be sound. So sometimes you see people just throw whatever old broken concrete in the ditch, and they call that riprap.
I've got an outlet that comes across my property, and we need to talk about an upgrade because we actually have enough outflow from the field that it's moved it 100 yards through the lawn.
Yeah.
Hydraulic pressure is incredible, but so will this be grouted in these projects?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, definitely. We always grout it. That's part of the bid from the contractors, that they grout it after they place it. So some of these contractors have made a special chute so that they can have the chute of the concrete truck over the edge of the bridge, and then it shoots it back underneath, and they can just.
Steve, is that what you did?
that was one of many things that I did, but yeah.
That was probably not the good day, right?
Not so much. Usually they'd use a concrete pump truck when we were grouting. That was easier to place it that way. More expensive to use though.
Exactly.
And to your point about some people not knowing about riprap, the grouting basically fills in the joints between the stones, almost like your kitchen floor.
Yeah, it's just a wet, sandy cement mix that has some small rocks in it that we just pour over the top to hold it in place. So it's a lean concrete, basically. That's what it is. Any other questions or comments about riprap? I didn't know we were going to have a riprap discussion. I'm glad we did.
It's education.
Yeah.
That's good.
The only other thing, Madam Chair, I had under other business, it's not on the agenda, but there's been conversations between the different department heads within the county about joining with the University of Illinois on their COVID testing process. Because it seems like every time they put out a new tier in these vaccinations, at least the highway department keeps ratcheting down and down. We thought we were going to be up at the top, and now we've fallen into like phase 2, which means we may not get anything until April or whenever it happens. So there is conversation about those of us in the departments that are not going to be vaccinated in the near future, having some kind of testing protocol with the University of Illinois, just to make sure that, you know, with the new strain coming and all that kind of stuff, that we're staying safe. So I would support that if that comes to a county board decision. I know it's going to be a budget deal. It's $20 a pop. We are not on the general fund budget, and I think it's worth it to keep our employees safe at the highway department. And we would have to find some money in a line item and, you know, not buy something we were typically going to buy, but if it kept us from having a COVID outbreak at the highway department, I would be all for it. So I just wanted to weigh in.
To get ahead of
On
that,
that.
can you send your people to the testing facility and give them time on the clock to do that right now?
You could.
You can get the test, but not the shot.
No, not the vaccination. I'm talking about the testing. That's what you were talking about, the
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about the shot.
he's talking about the testing because of the fact that shot's not going to come for
Right.
a while.
Right. The U of I one, I don't know how many COVID tests they'll do for a person without starting to charge.
Well,
And once you go
they've
to
given
Marketplace-
millions already, and so obviously they
Yeah.
want to try to recoup some of their expense, and they've built a product. I understand that completely, but there's nothing preventing you from sending your employees over there right now
To where?
to the mall or
No,
wherever.
you can go to the mall. I'm just saying, I've been to the Carl one, and they ask you why you're here.
Right.
And usually you have to have a reason, like I've been exposed, or I feel like I've been exposed, or I feel like I have
Yeah.
symptoms. I
You
don't know.
don't have
what
to do
the-
that at the mall.
You do not.
You do not. It takes longer.
Yeah, it takes like 3 to 5 days to get the results.
It takes longer to
sometimes.
get the test done too,
Yeah.
depending on how many people are there.
Right.
However, what I'm saying is that is currently available to us. If there was a
It is.
sense of apprehension in the office, I would
And we've
suggest,
done that.
I would suggest we send people over there now.
Yeah, we had somebody who tested positive in our office, so everybody who had contact with him when tested, nobody else tested positive. But we did have to, some people had to stay home
Quarantine,
until they
yeah.
got their test
Yeah.
back, so we did lose some work days there.
I understand that, but in the movement of safety,
Yes,
there's no point in waiting for the budget amendment or whether or
No.
not it becomes available. We can send
We
people
can.
right now.
we can. Okay. Supposedly, I'm not a biochemist or anything, but the U of I one supposedly can catch it even prior to it being contagious.
Well,
to
maybe
other people.
someday it'll be FDA approved,
I
because
hope
right
so.
now I don't think the test is approved.
It's not, but they're getting very, very close, I know. And they're wanting to provide that service to the community once they get to that point, if people are willing and able to do it.
I prefer the word offer as opposed to provide.
Okay.
How many employees do you have in the highway department?
22.
Approximately? Oh, yeah, get them in there.
So it'd be, if we did it once a week for everybody, it'd be about $400. And we have one person that's been vaccinated, one that's getting vaccinated next week, Michelle, is that right? Yeah, so,
Wow.
My wife had first round yesterday, and aside from a little sore in her arm, she said the process is going really well.
wait for the second one. I hear it's brutal. My daughter got the second one. She's a medical school student, and it wiped her out for 2 days.
I know a nurse with the second one on board, and she said she was pretty achy for a couple days.
Anyway, just my 2 cents on that whole conversation that I assume is going to be had at the committee of the whole, or wherever it's going to be had. I'm not sure how Darlene is handling that. That's all I have,
Good.
Madam Chair.
Excuse me. Okay, the chair doesn't have a report. And the designated items for consent agenda would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
No, 10, 11, 12 are the only ones we send to the board on a consent agenda.
Okay, is there any other correspondence to the committee, from the committee?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody for showing up. Appreciate it.
Thank
Be
you all.
safe. It's gonna get cold.
All
right, bye, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Bye.
We're adjourned.
That's so funny. Michelle calls Rob Staub.